Welcome to Three and Out with Jason and Kevin. I am Jason. That is Kevin. We are on the Orange and Black Insider on YouTube. It's not just Three and Out. It's also OBI with Anthony Cosenza and John Sheeran. And then we are also part of the Believe Network. That's BLEAV. The Believe Network. Our channel is called Believe in Cincy. It's us, Three and Out. It's OBI. It's Matt and Willie No Ball with Matt Minich and Willie Lutz. And it's Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friends, who just had Kay Adams on the show this week. Super exciting. It was a great show. So if you missed that, go to Believe in Cincy, check it out. Kevin, it's Wednesday night. You'll see this on Thursday morning and Thursday throughout the day, but it's game week. It's game week. Week one. Yep, week one is this weekend. New England Patriots. How do you feel? Describe the feeling. Do you feel overcome with euphoria that it's here? Are you nervous? Has the Bengals fans, like the nervousness hit you yet? Where you're like, oh no. I'm about to allow these 52, 53 young men to control my mood.
Yes.
How do you feel?
I'm 100. That is 100% where it is. And I was talking about this at work just today, actually. It is exactly the same feeling that you would have when you were a kid, and it was like the day before Christmas, where it's not just like excited. It's like a nervous energy that you can't it's good, but you feel almost like a little like you feel it in your stomach. It's not great.
Yeah.
I definitely get that way. The Jamar Chase stuff, which I was just I wasn't ignoring you. I was just checking Twitter one last time to make sure we're not going to be fools. That stuff is definitely part of it. I feel like we should touch on that a little bit, touch on the Chiefs Ravens game, just to talk about it, and then jump into the bulk of the show.
Hot takes.
Chiefs, hot takes. We're doing hot takes today. We've each got a couple. We're just going to bring them forward. Just our hot takes for the season. This is our last preseason show. So we thought we'd throw our hat over the fence a little bit.
Absolutely. So week one's right around the corner. Tonight, as of you seeing this, so Thursday night, the Chiefs and the Ravens open the season in Arrowhead Stadium. This is a big game. I know the Bengals aren't playing. It's a big game for the Bengals because the Bengals obviously are in the division with the Ravens, and they're going to be competing with the Chiefs primarily for the number one overall seed. You know what I mean? Like there's the Ravens and the Bengals, Bengals, and Chiefs are the three main teams, I think, fighting for that spot. So knowing that if the Ravens lose, the Bengals have kind of a leg up in the division, and that's the easiest way to get to the playoffs is by winning the division. Or if the Chiefs lose, you maybe have a leg up on that. Hey, we have this like opponent that you lost to and we won. Maybe you have that first round bye that takes into account for that. Where's your head? If they could tie, obviously they could tie. That'd be great for everybody because neither win, neither lose. But if you had to choose one or the other, which one are you going to go? Which way are you going to go?
I was kind of argumentative and defensive last time you asked me this 1 week ago.
Yeah.
I've since come around. Something I knew logically, but I had to see spelled out for it to really click for me, is that we absolutely want the Chiefs to win this. I get targeting the 1 seed. I do understand that. But here's the truth. If the Chiefs have a better record than us, the best seed we can do is the 2 seed. If the Ravens have a better record than us, the best seed we can do is the 5 seed.
Yep. Absolutely true.
The moment I saw that, and I did know it logically, I just didn't think it through. The moment I saw that spelled out, it clicked, and I went, I'm not going to be cheering. Right. I may give a satisfied nod at the end.
Yeah.
If the Chiefs win and beat the Ravens.
All right, cool. So you're not going to be a Swiftie. You're not going to get your Travis Kelce jersey out. You're not going to love Patrick Mahomes. You're just going to hope quietly. You're going to root quietly for the Chiefs. Okay. So I'm totally
rooting for the Ravens to lose is what I'm rooting for.
Oh, okay. So you're not rooting for the Chiefs to win. You just hope
it's a subtle distinction, but
I gotcha. So I totally agree with you. It would be better for the Bengals if the Ravens lost. It gives the Bengals the leg up on the division. And I think maybe it gives the Chiefs that kind of sense of security. Hey, look what we just did. We beat the Ravens. The Bengals coming up in week 2. We got this. You know what I mean?
Sure.
If they lose to the Ravens in week 1, then they're saying, hey, we have to refocus. We have to figure this out. Let's really concentrate on week 2. So there's multiple reasons. But yes, I'll be like you. I'm going to say I'll be rooting for the Ravens to lose. Yep. Not for the Chiefs to win, but for the Ravens to lose. Okay. So Jamar Chase, you want to talk about Jamar Chase? The big update, I'll just say it, is there is no update. He has not signed his contract. However, He did
However,
participate in practice today, which was the very important Wednesday install practice. And you mentioned to me earlier today in text that if he misses practice today, you're worried he doesn't play, which is very true. He was out there. I don't think he was a full participant in practice, but he did participate in a limited fashion. It said, I think it was a rest day, is what they said. But
yes.
he was dressed for practice. He was out there for install. So, in your opinion, does that mean to you that whether or not he's signed by Sunday, he'll be playing?
Yes.
Okay.
I do think that that's what that means. He is. I'm not going to give 100% here, but I think it moves the needle a good 20% in that direction. Jamar Chase is at the minimum giving himself every opportunity to play if he signs this contract. At maximum, he is planning on playing one way or the other.
Yeah.
He also, I do want to bring this up because I don't think it's going to happen this way, but if it does, I will respect the Bengals even more than I do today. Um, Jamar Chase said he would be talking to the media on Friday.
Yeah.
If the Bengals announced Jamar Chase's signing 10 minutes into the Chiefs game, like they
I
did
know.
with Burrow, it will
I
be
know.
the greatest troll move in the history of
Yeah.
the NFL. It will be the funniest possible
I
thing
know.
they could have done. It will be amazing.
It'll
Even
be the
Chiefs at
same.
that point, Chiefs fans were so mad last time.
I
If
know.
we did it again, even they would have to
They have to
admit it's pretty
respect it.
funny.
Yeah, they
It's
have to
pretty
respect it.
funny.
It'd be one of those things that have to be if we do it 2 years in a row, we have to sign somebody. We have to announce
Yeah.
someone's extension during the Chiefs' first game. Even when it's a player like, hey, this guy we don't really care about, we're extending him. He's a special teams captain. We're just not going to announce it until week 1. I love it. I love it. That's absolutely fantastic. I hope that's what happens. I hope Thursday night we find out. He did say he's going to address the media on Friday morning. If he's not signed by Thursday, I'm assuming that his media address is going to say, hey, we're going to get it done next year and I'm going to play. And I'm going
I
to make
would
you pay
assume
for
so.
it. And I'm going to make you pay for it because he will. Absolutely make him pay for it.
It's their choice.
Yeah.
Whatever he's asking, pay it because it's going to cost more next year. Anyways.
Totally agree.
I don't want to go on this rant again. It's the only thing anyone's talking about in the Bengals spaces right now. It has been beaten to death. I'm annoyed. You're annoyed. Everyone's annoyed.
Yep, we are. Everyone's annoyed, as they should be. Moving on. So hot takes. We haven't really talked to each other about like what they're going to be. We did say they're going to be mostly about the Bengals. I do have a couple hot takes for the AFC North and the NFL as a whole. But why don't you go ahead?
Sure.
Start us off.
I'll go with one I guarantee we both have. Might be slightly different versions of it, but we both definitely have it, which is that we are going to have either the offensive player of the year or MVP in Burrow or Chase at the end of this year. One of the two is going to win it. I think maybe both can be deserving because I actually don't think one gets there without the other playing a pretty significant role in it. But we are still the Bengals, and they're not going to want to give us both. So it's kind of a combo deal. They're either going to recognize Chase for who Chase is, which I actually think is slightly more likely because for whatever reason, Burrow rubs other fan bases and other teams the wrong way. I think it's because he doesn't seem like he overly cares. But so I think Chase is the more likely one, but I could see Burrow having literally having the best season of his career. I could see him having 5,000 yards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I could
see, with this line and with the weapons he has, especially considering that the defense is kind of iffy. I do think it can come together, but we really don't know. I could absolutely see the tactic for winning most games is just to let Burrow throw it 1,000 times a game.
Sure.
And Burrow throwing 1,000 times a game could ultimately end up in an MVP season.
Yep. So I totally agree. I actually wrote on Cincy Jungle on Tuesday Trenches this week that I think that Joe Burrow will have an MVP season for a few reasons. As one, the Bengals play the third or fourth easiest quarterback schedule in the NFL. And that usually means the opposing offense can't stay on the field, which means you're going to have the ball in your hands a lot, which I love, right? Two, he probably has the best wide receiver duo in the NFL in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And he has a lot of talent at that wide receiver. Andre Ucevic is incredibly talented. Charlie Jones is incredibly talented. Trenton Irwin has shown up time and time again, over and over again. And then Jermaine Burton is a rookie who's shown he's talented and maybe just needs some time to mature and grow.
And you can argue all day about is Boyd better or is Yoshi better for the slot, whatever. What you can't argue about is the upgrade Mike Gesicki brings.
Yes. Mike Gesicki, that's
That is
another
a
one. Great,
massive
thank you.
upgrade.
Yep, Mike Gesicki's a massive upgrade as a slot receiver, not only just as a tight end who can stretch the field, but as a slot receiver. I think that they're going to be able to move pieces around so much that's going to cause so many problems, especially with Chase out of the slot and maybe even out of the backfield every once in a while, stuff like that. I could see Burrow winning MVP because not only because he's protected with that offensive line, but he has so many weapons and just someone's going to be open.
Yep.
And he has he stayed healthy. He's completed his first ever off-season training program, which is incredible. And it's just one of those things that he's even talked about it, where he said, people, when you're hurt, people forget who you are. And I want to remind him this year. I think that he's got a chip on his shoulder. I think he's angry, and I think that he's going to come in and just absolutely unleash. Absolutely unleash. So yeah, I totally agree. I could see an MVP season for Chase. I said not Chase, Burrow. Burrow wins MVP season. If Burrow wins MVP season, I see both him and Jamar Chase as all pros this year.
Yes, you don't win one without getting the other.
No, probably not.
So yes, absolutely, I totally agree. That's almost like tangential to the bigger picture of what we're talking about.
Sure.
But yes,
for sure. Okay, so the first hot take that I had when I was thinking about the Bengals this year is that Trey Hendrickson resets the franchise record for sacks again this year. And the main reason I think that he's going to explode this year is last year he had a great year, 17 and a half sacks, second in the NFL, only behind TJ Watt, tied with Josh Allen, with no help. And this year he's going to have Sheldon Rankins in the middle, stopping quarterbacks from stepping up into the pocket, pushing that pocket back, making quarterbacks just have to sit where they are. And I think Trey Hendrickson is just going to eat. I think he's going to eat.
Don't forget the other side has at least a healthy Hubbard.
Yeah, at least
and
a healthy
maybe
Hubbard.
Miles Murphy that took a step and is now suddenly taking snaps and generating pressure on his own.
Yep.
Either way, he's getting more pressure on the other side. I really, really like the stick.
Yep. I could see Trey Hendrickson having the first ever 20 sack season for a Bengals player. Now imagine Joe Burrow MVP, Jamar Chase All-Pro, Trey Hendrickson All-Pro with 20 sacks. That's a Super Bowl. You got 3 All-Pros on a team? Okay. What's your next one? I don't want to drink the Kool-Aid too much and freak out here, but go ahead.
I mean, this is okay, but this is the time to drink the Kool-Aid.
I know it is.
If you're not having
the time.
Like that is the thing. Like we analyze things and we panic about stuff. And I think a lot of Bengals fans do it. We all got whiplash real bad.
Yes.
Especially from last year. We had 2 back-to-back great seasons, and then last year was like such a disaster in so many ways. I do think that we're all like being a little cautious, like guarding our hearts a little bit. But now's the time to get excited. Football's supposed to be fun. So Trey Hendrickson, 20 sacks, I absolutely believe it.
Okay.
But moving on, the other part that's going to be really, really fun is that the Ravens are absolutely not the team that everybody expects them to be, and they are going to regress. They're still an AFC North team. They're still going to have a winning record. But you see the Ravens consistently placed in the Super Bowl. You see them placed in the top 2, top 3, top 4 teams in power rankings. This is not going to happen.
Right.
It just isn't. They lost 15 players. They lost their defensive coordinator.
Right.
I had to write it all down because there's so many. They lost Patrick Queen, Javion Clowney, Geno Stone. They lost half their offensive line. They lost their defensive coordinator. I get that they added Derrick Henry. I get that. Derrick Henry is an aging running back, and running backs don't win football games. When was the last time the Titans were relevant before all this? It's because
they were the number 1 seed when the Bengals went. Yeah, they were the number 1 seed when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, and the Bengals went into Tennessee and beat them. And I know the score was more, even. That was not that close of a game. The Bengals outplayed them from beginning to end because the Titans cannot throw the ball. But they could not throw the ball.
If you can't throw the ball, you can't win. And Lamar Jackson can't throw the ball under pressure. That's the other thing.
Yep.
You can rank them as high as you want in the regular season. It does not matter. Lamar Jackson cannot win in the playoffs. It has been proven over and over and over again. He plays a high-risk, high-reward style ball, and that works really, really well in the regular season because you'll win more games than you'll lose in that style of football. The moment you get to the playoffs, you only got to lose one.
That's very true.
Lamar Jackson will absolutely lose you that one. This team is going to be a shell of itself, and a shell of a Super Bowl caliber team is still a good team. I'm not arguing that they're not going to be a good team, but they're going to be a 10-win team. They're going
I
to be
agree
a
with that.
10-win team. They're going to be hard to play because of the Ravens, and of course they're going to be hard to play. They always put a good product on the field, but they are not the team everybody thinks they are.
I see an awful lot of people already showing like, oh, here's our AFC North projection. We got the Ravens at 13-4, the Bengals at 10-7. I don't see it that way. I totally agree with you. And it's not because of their offense, it's because of their defense. Their defense lost Geno Stone. They lost 2 linebackers. One went to the Browns, one went to the Steelers. They're not going to have the defense that they need to keep Joe Burrow on the sideline. I don't even know if they're going to have the defense they need to compete with the Browns and the Steelers. I mean, I think their defense could have taken that big of a hit. And Lamar Jackson's dangerous. He's dangerous in the regular season. He's scary. He can do things that no one else can do, maybe with the exception of Patrick Mahomes with his arm. Lamar Jackson can do things no one can do with his legs.
Yes.
I'll be honest with you, man. I don't know how scared I am of Derrick Henry. He's a great running back. He's a bruiser. He's on the wrong side of 30. I kind of feel like his style of play is more meant for like the quarterback to be under center and some play action and stuff. That's not Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's going to be out of the shotgun, which means that he's going to be standing right next to some big, huge running back that he wants to get up to speed quickly. I don't know how that's going to work. So I think on paper, it's a much more scary signing than it is in reality. Practically, yes. I mean, I think that he could have some good games and some big games and maybe give them a win or two, but I don't think when January comes around, they're going to be looking at Derrick Henry and being like, let's go, big guy, and he's going to be huffing and puffing because you can't win the ball by just running and without a defense. You can't win the ball like that. Not in the NFL, not in January and February. No way.
It's the same thing I was saying about just the Ravens in general. Derrick Henry, because he's Derrick Henry, will be a good running back.
Yeah.
But he is going to regress. He is not going to be the style of running back we remember from 5 years ago. He is going to be a little slower, a little more prone to injury, and it's going to add up through the season. The Ravens are going from a Super Bowl team to a 10-7 team. Derrick Henry is taking that same drop where he's good.
Yeah.
He's good. And no one will ever say Derrick Henry can't play ball.
Yep.
But he will not be the threat that people were saying that he was a few years ago.
How many times have we seen a running back who like made a big name for themselves on a team go away to another team and then you just kind of forget that they exist? How many times
over and over and over again?
So many times. And I'm not saying that Derrick Henry is the same as just he's not. He's a rare blend of size and speed. I'm just saying that doesn't matter. If you want to play that type of football, it doesn't matter if you can't play defense. If you had a great defense and you want to run the ball and you want to keep Joe Burrow on the sideline, that's one thing, but you don't.
Right.
So I don't know what it's going to do for him. Not much. I agree with you. I think they're going to take a step back. Here's my hot take. It's going to be Jamar Chase, T. Higgins have great seasons, and I think wide receiver 3 is going to present himself as Andre Yosevich by the end of the year. I think he's going to be the guy. I think he's going to play out of the slot. I think he's going to play out of the I think he's going to play on the outside. I think he's going to have just an all-round good. I could see him, 500, 600 yards and a handful of touchdowns, which would be great for your third wide receiver.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
No, I think he proved himself in camp that way, especially because I am not hearing great things about Burton.
No.
He can clearly play ball. It seems like everything else personality-wise is lacking. That just makes it all the more certain that Yoshi, in my opinion, they're acting like this is going to be by committee, and maybe it will be for the first couple weeks. By halfway through the season, Yoshi is going to be taking 70% of the snaps.
I could see that.
Alongside T and Jamar's 90+.
Yep, I could see that. Oh yeah, I don't think T and especially T. The Bengals want to use every ounce of football T has in him this year because he's gone next year.
But yeah, I could see he wants to give every ounce of football because he wants to
absolutely.
Get paid like
absolutely.
Jamar Chase is trying to get paid right now. So
absolutely, how cool would it be? Jamar Chase.
It might not be a marriage, but it is going to be a really fun year.
Yep. Totally, absolutely. I'm excited. I think it could be somewhat of a rotation. I could see Charlie Jones coming in and playing out of the slot. I could see Andre Yosevich kind of doing anything. Trent Irwin, I could see him coming in when they need someone. Hey, we need someone to get open. We need someone that knows how to get open, especially when T and Higgins T and Chase, there's so much attention being paid to them. Who do you trust more than Trenton Irwin to get open and catch the ball? Not many guys. You know what I mean? I could I wrote actually another thing. I wrote another prediction that I could see Trenton Irwin having his like insane playoff hero moment where he has one of those David Tyree catches
Sure.
or Julian Edelman catches where he pins the ball up against his helmet and saves a drive. And then when you look back at it, you're like, you know what? We win the Super Bowl because of that. We went to the Super
Yeah.
Bowl because he made that catch. I could see that
I hope so because I
being the
love
type of
Trenton
thing
Irwin.
Trenton Irwin. Oh, yeah, me too.
I
Absolutely.
love a
Trenton
lunch
Irwin.
pail guy. I love a workhorse.
Yep. And that's what he is. That's what he is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what he is. He's a lunch pail wide receiver, 100%.
He
Knows how to get
There's
open.
not a lot of those in the league. It's a unique personality type. And also when you look at him, you know, two things. He can teach you how to fly fish and he can shotgun a beer better than almost anybody you've ever met.
See, you get fly fishing vibes with the long hair. I get surfing vibes with the long blonde hair.
No. I get like he can fix your car for you, but he's not going to use like any correct tools. He has a garage. He doesn't have
he's got a garage full of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. I could see it a little bit. I get like a more surfer dude thing with the hair, you know, but that's just me. That's just me. I don't know. All right. You got another one? You got another hot take loaded up?
I got one last hot take. It's a small one because I don't really know which direction it's going to go. But by halfway through the season, there is going to be a massive call to rewrite the kickoff rules because we are going to see some team figure something out about a new way to like run the ball back. And it's going to be the equivalent of the tush push. It is going to be this. It is going to be something any team could theoretically do, but one team focused on it and figured it out, and suddenly their return game is just wild. We're talking multiple touchdowns. We're talking even the ones that aren't touchdowns go for long gains over and over and over again. And there's going to be this massive kickback, just like the tush push. We have to rewrite the rules. We can't let this happen. And then everybody else is eventually going to come around and go, why don't you just get better at it?
Right. Yeah. Get better at it. Get good at stopping it, and then we'll stop.
All the smartest minds in football are all focused on this new, very unique opportunity to be the first ones to like figure it out. And some team is going to be the team that does, and it's going to create really, really frustrating football. Imagine you're on the other side of a team that you are dominating in every single aspect, but they've returned the ball twice. And you lose the game,
and it's
tied.
What I mean? People are going to be
so angry.
Oh, I know. They gained
and I anticipate this
50 net yards, and they scored 14 points on runbacks, and they beat us. Oh, I know. That'd be awful. Now I
think we're going to see it.
I could see it. Now, watching preseason football, your gut visceral reaction when you saw it for the first time, and you've seen it now that you're used to it. How do you feel about it? Are you like, hey, you know what? I can get used to this, or I don't like it. What are your thoughts?
I can get used to it. It's creating what they wanted it to create, which is people are actually trying to return the ball.
Yep.
We are going to see running. It looks like everybody's going to try running back out at the position. Like it or not, it is at least interesting. It's at least fun. Something to talk about, some new aspect of the game. Maybe I'll end up hating it a year or two from now. But for right now, honestly, like the football fan side of me is just excited to see where this all ends up a year from now. I don't think anybody's going to be able to predict like how this is going to affect the game long term.
Right. I agree with you. When I first saw it for the first time, it's so weird looking and different looking. You're just like, I don't like this. The ball's up in the air for 2 seconds before, however many long before anyone can move. It just looks weird. However, I do see the practical implication that it allows teams to actually try to return the ball. It makes this not just a throwaway play, because really, if the ball goes out to the 25 and almost everything's a kickback or a touchback, then why even kick it off anyway? Just give everyone the ball in 25 and move on. But this kind of makes it a play again. Like you, I think there's some unforeseen thing that we haven't thought about, or some loophole, or not even a loophole, but just something that we haven't seen that someone's going to exploit, and we're all going to say, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that anymore. They have to change this. And I don't think it's going anywhere. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It's just something we're going to have to get used to. But yeah, I could see a situation where we're like, no, this has got to go. We got to go back to the old way.
Yeah, because people can't win football this way.
No, they can't. They can't. So the only other hot take I had, just for the overall NFL, and I talked to you a little bit about before we started recording, was I read a report about Jason Kelce having so much control over the offensive line for the Eagles over the last few years with Jalen Hurts to the point that Jalen Hurts is struggling to make the correct offensive line calls in the preseason. I don't know if that's true. It makes sense. I mean, it makes sense to me. We all saw that play. I don't know what game it was where Jalen Hurts made a call and Jason Kelsey turned around and said, "No, we're not doing that."
Yes.
And then, that's not a normal thing that you see a center say to the quarterback, or anyone really say to the quarterback. And it doesn't matter to us.
That was what Karras was doing for Browning.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Figuring out protections early on, which I mean is fine for a backup quarterback, but for your starting quarterback, who's supposed to be Super Bowl caliber, that is a troubling report.
Right, it is a troubling report. They lost Fletcher Cox, they lost Jason Kelsey. They're obviously not a divisional rival. It doesn't really matter to us. We do play them. I'm kind of surprised that's our Stripe the Jungle game. Or no, is that our whiteout game? I think that's our whiteout game.
I don't know.
Either way,
yeah,
I'm surprised that we're using a fun uniform game on the Eagles because it's an NFC team, but we do play them. Might be something, to look out for. Maybe Jalen Hurts is just not going to know what's going on. Do you have any other hot takes? Really?
No, I think the Bengals brass agree with you though on the Eagles, because I have noticed that they do try to get their really big fun games, like their uniform games and Stripe the Jungle and everything else. They try to give them on wins. They don't want to tarnish the fun.
They don't.
You know what I mean? I don't blame them. Like to do Stripe the Jungle and then have to go home in defeat. That's nobody wants that.
No, nobody
Put it
wants
on an easy one. Let everybody go nuts.
Right.
So totally apparently they also think the same thing about the Eagles. They think that's a victory.
I guess so. Bengals play 1:00 at home in Paycor Stadium against the New England Patriots. I think the last time I looked at the line, the Bengals were favored by 7.5.
Yep.
Joe Burrow is taking his first snap since November.
I saw 8.5.
8.5. Okay, it might be 8.5.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
That's what I saw. It's the biggest gap in week 1.
I could see that, yeah. Joe Burrow's taking his first snaps since November, and Jacoby Brissett is going to get the start for the Patriots. And the last time he threw, well, I'll put it this way, in all of 2023, he threw less than 30 passes. So I'm going to ask you the last thing before we get off of here. I'm going to ask you what you think, who's going to win, and what you think the final score is going to be.
Oh, final score. I don't know about the overall score, but we're going to be up at least 2 scores on them, maybe almost 3. Because I don't think we're going to see that Zach Taylor put on the brakes, let the defense burn the clock style, at least till he's more confident in this defense. I think that the thing we've always wanted for season after season is to let Burrow just murder them, go up 15 on them. You know what I mean? Go up 14 on them.
Keep going.
I think we're going to see that. So I expect it to be kind of a slaughter. We're going to win. I also am really looking forward to this game because I've been looking into the Pats just in general, and the one aspect of that offense that might be pretty good is the run game. And it's the one aspect of our defense I'm not super confident in. I think this will be a really good test of just how we're going to handle at least an average to above average run game. While still not being in real danger of getting run over, because Burrow's just gonna drop dimes on them until they can't run the ball anymore.
So I agree that we're going to win. I think this is going to be an ugly game in the first half, and the reason is because I think that Burrow's played one series since November. I think he's going to have some rust to knock off. Brissett's threw 30 passes last year. That offense is going to have a little bit of rust to knock off. I could see it being like it's 10-7, or it's even 7-3 at halftime. It's a boring, ugly defensive game. I do think the Bengals offense will get their feet underneath them. I could see that coming out in the second half, and they just look like a better team. But I do think that this is going to be the big test for like you said, the Bengals run defense, especially Chris Jenkins rotating in, because Stevenson is a pretty good running back. He's a big guy. He really excels at running through contact. And the Bengals and the Patriots are going to lean on him a lot. I would. I'd lean on him. I want Joe Burrow on the sideline, which means I want to run the ball. So I do think the Bengals win, but I think it's an ugly game, and I'm going to come out and say in the end they'll do 20-10.
Okay.
20-10.
That's close to where I'm at, but I think it'll be more of a slaughter than that. I really do. I get that it's a week 1 game, which means it's going to be constant adjustments. It's going to be sloppy on all sides. I just don't see what the Patriots have.
Oh no, I get it.
Offense, even if it's sloppy and rusty and everything
Right.
else. I just don't think they have it in them to stop. I think we're going to score on more drives than we don't, even if that just means field goals. I think it's going to be. I think we're gonna kick their ass.
I hope you're right. I think we win either way, but I hope you're right. So we'll see. Again, you got anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Again, follow us on YouTube. We are on the Orange and Black Insider. It's us, which is 3 and Out, along with OBI, which is again John Sheeran and Anthony Cosenza. And then we're on the Believe Network. On Believe in Cincy, it's 3 and Out. It's OBI. It's Matt and Willie No Ball, and it's Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friends. There's great Bengals content every day on both YouTube and Believe. So subscribe, like the whole thing, and check it out. Kevin, you got anything else, man?
That's it.
All right, Houday, we will be back next week to hopefully break down a Bengals win and discuss week 2 against the Chiefs. Houday.
Who did?